Caseus. Ashes of the Order. Chapter 3.
Drop your laser swords! Hands where we can see them!
We're not here to hurt you. Put down your blasters and we can all walk away from this. The 4 troopers and the Jedi held their ground, and Liara noticed something. One of the soldiers was holding his ribs. Red liquid slowly trickled from between his fingertips. Your friend is hurt. You don't have time to waste trying to kill us.
Don't you make a move. Griff, check on him. Quill, get to the comms. Try to contact HQ. I've got my sights on these 2.
Quill ran to the ship as Griff set his blaster down to tend to his squad mate, who was now leaning against the entrance ramp in pain.
This is bad. He won't make it back in time. He needs treatment now. Blast. Hang in there, Keldon. You 2 stay where you are and don't even think about moving.
The stormtrooper ran over to aid his friend as Caseus kept his guard up, looking at them. He recognized their desperation. It was the kind of panic you only feel when someone close to you is dying. Without thinking, Caseus ran over as the trooper aimed his blaster.
I said freeze!
Look, if you were going to shoot me, you'd have done it already. Now shut up and listen. I led soldiers during the Clone Wars. I have experience with battlefield injuries. I can help him.
Why should I trust you?
Because your friend will die if you don't. Do you want that on your conscience? Believe me, it's not a good feeling. The trooper aimed at Caseus and looked back to his friend.
Hash, he's dying. Let him help.
Hash looked at Caseus and back to Keldon and lowered his weapon.
Just save him. Hurry.
Caseus ran to the downed stormtrooper and examined his wound carefully. Damn it.
What's wrong?
He was hit by a slug, not by a blaster bolt. If we don't get it out soon, he's going to die. Liara, grab the wire clasps. Liara quickly ran to the nebulous and returned with a long pair of clasps and handed them to her master. All right, hold him steady. This is going to be painful. The 2 other troopers held their bloodied friend steady as Caseus carefully inserted the clasps into the side of the screaming man. Caseus winced as he gingerly rooted around and found the metal slug, grabbing it and removing it. Get me a cloth, as clean as you can find. Running into the cargo freighter, Hash looked around and found a cloth and a bottle of alcohol.
I found this stuff.
Good. It'll keep him alive. Caseus poured the alcohol into the wound as Keldon cried out in searing pain before Caseus applied pressure to stop the bleeding. Hold that on there until the bleeding stops. You should be okay until you make it back. Keldon panted and held the cloth tightly to his side as Hash stood up.
What's your game here? Why did you help us?
Because you asked. You sent out a call for help and we answered. Your comrade was hurt and I chose to help. That's all there is to it. Hash looked at Keldon, who was slowly calming down.
Griff, get him some water. Right.
Griff ran inside and returned with a canteen of water and gently gave some to Keldon.
Don't think this changes anything. You 2 are wanted fugitives.
Wanted by who? The Empire? Do you plan on taking us in?
I have a job to do, Jedi. You think that saving one of my men is enough to get me to turn the other way and let you run?
Quill came back from inside and stepped close to Hash.
Comm systems are down completely.
Hash grunted in frustration, keeping his eye on the 2 Jedi.
Hash, maybe we could... Maybe just this once. Do what? Let him go? Do you know what'll happen to us if they find out we let 2 Jedi go free?
That's only an issue if you report it. Do you think that's what you should do? Turn over 2 Jedi who saved you and your men?
Don't try to play to my empathy, Jedi. I'm not the criminal here.
And you think we are?
Liara walked forward.
If you knew the truth about who you're working for, I don't think you'd be so quick to judge.
Stay out of this, girl.
She's right. Your Emperor and his enforcers aren't all they claim to be. Hash aimed his blaster at Caseus.
I've heard enough of this nonsense.
Liara put her hand on her saber before Caseus raised his hand to stop her. Before you pull the trigger, I want to know. Why did you join the Empire?
I joined the Empire to serve a better cause than cleaning floors in the slums of Coruscant. To bring order and security to the galaxy.
And look at the galaxy. The Empire controls countless worlds. Look beneath the surface. Do you see security and order? Or do you see something else?
Hash kept his blaster aimed at Caseus, his hands shaking slightly.
You aren't making a difference, Trooper. You take your orders without question, blindly bowing to the whims of a tyrant. Your life, your service, everything you've committed to serving the Empire, all of it, means nothing to him. I could kill you and all of your men right now, and I guarantee you they'd be more concerned about the cargo freighter than you. 4 lost soldiers in an army of millions, barely worth a glance. Your Emperor views you the same way he viewed the clones that served him loyally during the war. Expendable. So before you pull the trigger, think about that. Are you willing to die in service of a monster?
Hash's hands were shaking uncontrollably before he lowered his rifle and dropped it to the dirt, hanging his head. Caseus looked at the downtrodden man.
Take your helmets off. All of you.
Griff looked at him.
What? Why?
I want to see your true faces. The faces the Empire has you hide away from the world.
Griff, Keldon, and Quill looked at each other and slowly took off their helmets. Hash saw his friends oblige the Jedi and slowly removed his as well. Each of them had unique features and differences. Some bald, some with darker skin, some old, some young. Without the cold, expressionless masks, Caseus could easily read them. They weren't evil. They were humans. Men just trying to do what they thought was right. Caseus smiled.
Look at each other. So different from each other. Not just in appearance. Through the Force, each one of you is unique. You all have dreams, desires, ambitions. Maybe it's time you started fighting for a future that allows you to achieve them.
Hash looked at his men and back to Caseus.
You want us to abandon the Empire? That choice is yours to make. If you wish to continue fighting in the name of the Empire, I won't stop you. The consequences of those actions will be yours to face when they come. If I were you, however, I'd consider another path. I have a contact who can help you, if you're willing.
Hash looked at his men as Keldon stood painfully and looked at his helmet before dropping it onto the dirt. Griff sighed and did the same. Then Quill. Finally, Hash looked to his helmet and followed suit, dropping his helmet with the others.
Who's your contact? Wait here with your ship. Tend to your friend. In a few hours, someone will be here to help you. How do we know we can trust you? I'm not the one you need to trust going forward. Trust in yourself. And the Force.
Caseus turned and made his way to the nebulous with Liara. What if they go back and turn us over?
Then we hide. We seem to have made an art out of it. Pip, patch me through to Zenka.
Pip inserted a small data chip into the holoprojector and punched in a code as Zenka's image soon appeared.
Caseus, I didn't expect to hear from you again. Have you reconsidered joining?
Not yet. But I may have some new recruits for the rebellion. 4 ex-stormtroopers. We saved them from pirates here on Calula, and they're ready to make a change. They're going to need a pickup, so I'll send the coordinates.
This is a risk, Caseus. I hope my trust in you is not misplaced. I'll have a squad out there soon to retrieve them.
Good luck, Zenka.
Zenka ended the transmission as Caseus hopped into the cockpit with Liara and Pip, setting coordinates back for Shulgana.